Hey guys, this is Lewis from the channel Captain 250FX, and today we're going to be going over my 100-hour review of my 2022 Yamaha YZ250FX. But first, you know I got to give you a cinematic view, so I'll be right back. Alright guys, here we are. This is my 2022 Yamaha YZ250FX. And first I just got to start off by saying, is that not one of the best looking graphics kits you've ever seen? I mean, yeah, I could be biased, but my gosh, this graphics kit. This graphics kit was done by Donks Designs, Michigan. And this is the Chameleon Chrome, and it just absolutely pops, especially in the sun. I don't know if that'll come through in the camera or not, but yeah, if you're looking to refresh your bike, Donks Designs Michigan is taking over the game. They're doing everybody's dirt bikes, snowmobiles, enclosed trailers. I seen them do some quads. You name it, this guy does it. And I actually have a discount code if anybody is looking to refresh their bike, and that will get you a 10% discount, and that is Captain 250FX. Just put that in the promo code or mention that when you're on the phone. And yeah, a little bit of savings helps. So thank you to Donks Designs, and gosh, these kits are just amazing. Okay, who's this bike for? These Yamaha YZ250FXs, in my opinion, are for the beginner / intermediate riders. And the reason I say that is they're just so easy to ride. And what I'm going to contribute that to is the 6-speed transmission and obviously the KYB suspension. So I've heard a lot of people on the forums kind of complain about the unusable first gear, which I don't agree with at all, because whether it's a hair scramble or, you know, like if I take it down south and I'm in some rocky terrain, that first gear can come in really handy versus a lot of these Japanese bike turned off-road bikes that just still have the MX gearing in them. I'm not a fan of that. This transmission is where it's at, in my opinion. Yeah, you might not use first gear 90–95% of the time, but you will use it and it will save you and just make things easier. So, and then the other piece of that is the suspension. Everybody knows Yamaha has some of the best suspension out there. It's KYB, and I will say they're this bike is extremely stiff out of the box though. So you're gonna have it resprung for your weight and tuned for your riding ability and your riding area, and then it will literally transform this bike to just one of the most amazing handling bikes you've ever had. I mean, this bike is on rails, and these, if they're tuned properly, are like, they're like being on rails. As fast as you can push it it's just, they'll handle whatever you throw at them. So absolutely love this bike and this suspension. And like I said, it's for beginner / intermediate. Once you get to a certain point and get fast enough, might not have quite the power you're looking for, but it's pretty snappy for the power it does have. So okay, one of the complaints about any new Yamaha is the batteries. The batteries in stock form are junk that come with them. So a lot of people run the anti-gravity AG801s, or I can't remember the name of the battery I got in here, but it's the I think it's the Surefire or whatever. Some people run the Tusk Pro, but pretty much you got to replace the battery right away in these things. Although when I first got this 22, I put about 30 hours on my bike with the original battery, and it never went dead or gave out like some people have reported, but it just didn't have the cranking power that I needed, especially when the race season started, because the batteries that come with them are super weak. So, and then, you know, Yamahas have always been known to not really start that great when they're hot, but with help from a friend that races down south, and he knows who he is, we pretty much got this bike down pat. So with changing the battery, when you're at the starting line, this bike likes to be at a certain temperature, and it likes to be started at in a certain way, and I can pretty much not whole shot it, but I can get off the line really quick. So there is a certain procedure that goes along with replacing the battery that really works, in my opinion. So yeah, just switch out the battery right away, save yourself the hassle. So I know I said in the title this is a 100-hour review. I actually am late. I have 140 hours on this bike now, and just like my FX, my 2018 FX before this one, I've literally done nothing mechanically to these bikes other than my regular oil changes, my oil filter, and my air filter. And literally the only time you're ever going to wrench on this bike is if you hit a tree or go down real hard and smack something up, which I've done. I've already went through 2 radiators on this bike, and I think I'm on my 2nd set of handlebars, and I've went through, I think I'm on my 2nd set of bark busters too. So, and that's just me, but unless you're hitting stuff, the Yamahas are about as reliable as you can possibly get. So what else? The airbox. Now, since Yamaha went to this rearward facing engine, you know, they got the airbox up top. When these first came out, a lot of people were saying the way that that was designed, it was your air filter would stay a lot cleaner, a lot longer. However, I would beg to differ. You're pretty much plan on changing this air filter every single ride, because it's like ram air, you know, you got your intakes right on each side, and unless you're gonna ride right after a pouring rain, these things will literally suck up everything within radius. I mean, I'm talking, you know, sticks that long, leaves, you name it. It definitely breathes well. So you always got to have multiple air filters on standby. That's for sure. Which I do. I have 4 of them, so I pretty much change them out every ride. You know, like you should, anyways. And like I said, I've got 140 hours on the bike, and my valves still haven't hardly moved. I've never adjusted them yet. So just got to keep that air filter nice and clean. Now, a lot of people have asked me what maps that I run. And in the map switch 1, the first map, which is the hot map, I sometimes go back and forth between the Yamaha MX feeling map, which hits really good but has a little bit less engine braking, and then the other map I put in position 1 is the Kiefer hard hitting map, which hits extremely hard for a 250. I'm telling you, it does. And that one though, I use that a little less just because the engine braking's kind of, my opinion, it has a lot of engine braking. So, and then in map 2, I always just have the Kiefer free feeling map in there, and that's pretty much for my tight single track and whatnot. And that is, I don't know the percentage of engine braking that takes away, but it's significantly less. So when I'm in the tight stuff, I'm always in the Kiefer free feeling map. So just thought I'd pass that on. And you know, lots of people are building their own maps, but I have never taken the time to do that. There's so many maps available online. So those are the maps that I run. So that concludes my 100-hour review. I highly recommend this bike. It's an amazing bike. In my opinion, as far as 4-strokes go, there isn't a better bike out there. You change your oil filter regularly, your air filter, and that's all you have to worry about. I mean, it's just the best bike out there with the best suspension and the best transmission, in my opinion, for 4-strokes. Now, 2-strokes is a whole nother subject, but like I said, if you're a beginner to intermediate, you cannot go wrong with this bike. As long as you treat it right, it'll treat you right. So yeah, this is my second FX, and between my last 2 bikes, my 2018 FX and this 2022 FX, I have close to 500 hours on these bikes. Super familiar with them. You get them set up and tuned right, and you can just push these things as hard as what you dare to push. And if you watch any videos online, you know, and you watch like the pro guys review them and stuff, what they say is right, is the harder you push this bike, the more stable it becomes. So the harder you push it, the better this bike is, and I just love it. I've actually picked up quite a bit of speed riding this bike, and once you get it tuned right, the suspension, it's just confidence inspiring. So highly recommend these Yamaha YZ250FXs. So if you guys like this video and you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. I'm going to be pumping out a lot more content. You know, we're deep into November, so you know the riding is getting to the point where it's almost over with rifle season and the weather and everything. But I will be going down south again this winter, so you can go back and watch my old videos of how this thing handles the Michigan sand and whoops, and I'll be making more content from down south in the rock, clay, and more hard packed terrain. So this is kind of like the Swiss Army knife of dirt bikes. You know, the only thing this bike obviously is not going to be good at, because it's a 4-stroke, is hard enduro. But even like borderline, like semi-hard enduro and everything else in between, this bike excels at. So, and it'll make you a better rider just because it's the handling characteristics are so great. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.